Hello, good people. I trust that you are well. I feel so much honored and delighted that you have chosen to listen to me in this episode of the Achievers podcast. Feel much welcome. I do not take your time for granted. I really, really appreciate it. And thank you so much for choosing to listen to Arostoben and also the Achievers podcast. Now, today, I want to discuss with you about a question that I've been asked by quite a number of my friends. And that question is, how did you discover your life purpose? Arosto, how did you discover your life purpose? So many of my friends and some of my mentees have asked me this question. And it's a question that forms our discussion today. It's a question that I want to dive into and try to help you answer this question. Maybe out there, you've also been asking yourself, how do people discover their life purpose? How do people get to identify that this is the purpose into which that they were born? This is the purpose for which they were created. So join me for the next few minutes as we discuss this. Life purpose. Now, answering that question, the question on how did you discover your life purpose, myself as a rosto, giving you the process or giving you the way out, how I went about discovering the the life purpose, I would be lying to you that you are going to discover your purpose as well. I'll be lying to you that if you follow the process that I followed, you are going to discover yourself as well. That is not true. That's not what I want you to get. Why am I saying this? Because discovery of a life purpose is a totally different experience, a totally different process for each and every person. If you ask me who have founded my life purpose and you ask another person who has also founded his or her life purpose, and you get to listen to the processes that we underwent, you realize that we all went through different processes. And that's why I'm saying that answering that question directly would be deceiving. I would not want to tell you how I went through, because I believe the reason as to why you are asking this question is for you to also be able to identify your life purpose. So instead of answering the question directly, I wish to discuss life purpose, the process of discovering life purpose, and what entails about life purpose, or what is it that determines a life purpose. And maybe by so doing, I'll be helping you to discover your life purpose. It's also good that I mentioned this to you, that the discovery of a life purpose is a process. It's a process because it takes quite some time depending on an individual. It may take years for you to discover your life purpose. It may take months for you to discover your life purpose. It may take days, who knows, for you to discover your life purpose. The time or the period of the process really determines or depends with an individual. So, my good friend, let's discuss about life purpose and what it entails. Maybe by the end of this podcast, you'll be able to cover your life purpose too. So let's first of all start or begin by understanding what do we mean by a life purpose. If you listen to so many of the motivational speakers, so many of life coaches, so many of mentors out there, and some of other people out there, they'll tell you that the moment you discover your life purpose, that's the point at which your life changes. The moment at which you discover the reason as to why you are born, the reason that main thing that made you be created is when your life changes. That's what we mean by a life purpose. The reason as to why you are created. The reason as to why you are born. That's what we mean by a life purpose. Let me share this with you. Every human being who exists here on earth, every other person, yourself, myself, and your friend as well, we were created for a reason. We were created for a purpose. There's a mission that was instilled in us to achieve, to realize, to accomplish while here on earth. And I can guarantee you this, that you will never die. I will never die until I fulfill that reason, until I fulfill that mission that made me be created, that made me be brought onto this earth. Hello, I hope that is clear. And to some extent, you'd say that that life purpose, it is the main source of motivation for your life. It is the main source of motivation. It's the main thing that keeps you or compels you to want to continue living. That's what we mean by life purpose. And need to put it this clear at this point, that not discovering your life purpose, if you don't know your life purpose by now, as you listen to me, if you don't know your life purpose, then it is not wrong. It's very okay. But it's very wrong if you've never, ever thought about your life purpose. Can I repeat that again? That it is very okay not to have discovered your life purpose as you listen to me now. But you living without thinking about your life purpose, it's not okay. It is not something that warrants your attention, or anything else that takes your attention. It is not warranted. You should be keeping thinking about your life purpose. What is the main reason why I was created? What is the main reason why I was born? What is the main reason as to why I had to be born so many years ago? Why? That is what we are talking about, life purpose. And as I discuss about life purpose with you, it's good that I mentioned this to you, my good friend, that the process of discovering your life purpose, it's not an easy process. It's a process that requires you to get into thinking. It's a process that requires you to get deep into thoughts. It's a process that requires you to really understand yourself. And for that reason, I will share with you two main determinants of your life purpose. If you want to discover your life purpose, if you want to discover the reasons to why you are created, the reasons to why you are born, then there are two things that you have to put into consideration. Number one, you need to think about your self awareness. What do I mean by that? Not only think about your self awareness, is discover yourself. You need to know who really you are. Many people claim that they understand themselves, but I want to challenge you. Do you understand yourself in terms of your feelings? Are you able to tell that this is how I would react to a situation? For example, just to give an example, that maybe you observe something that has happened to someone, and at that specific point, you get to ask yourself, how would I have reacted to that? If that happened to me, how would I have reacted to that? This are about self-awareness, getting to understand your thoughts, getting to understand your feelings, getting to understand your actions, getting to understand your personality, getting to know yourself inside out is what we mean by self-awareness. Being able to tell that this is what I would do, that this is what or how I would handle a certain situation. That's what I mean. Self awareness, getting to know yourself inside out, in terms of your thoughts, in terms of your feelings, in terms of your actions, in terms of your personality, in terms of your everything, entirely everything. That's what we mean by self awareness. And that's the first thing that you need for you to be able to discover your purpose. When I'm having sessions and I'm speaking to people about life purpose, or getting to identify the reasons of why you are born, or getting to identify your life mission, the first question I ask is, how much do you know about yourself? And many people claim that they know so much about themselves. But the unfortunate revelation is that very few people know themselves. Basically, knowing what you love in terms of maybe your best dish, or your best color, or your best favorite movie, or how you'd spend your leisure time, that's not all about self-awareness. Self-awareness, it's more of not what you like and what you also don't like, how you'd undertake an action, and also how you would respond to some situations. So, my good friend, if you want to discover your life purpose, the first thing that you need to ask yourself is how much do I know about myself? If I was told to answer a few questions with regards to my own self, what would I answer? For example, what's your personality? Don't tell me introvert. Don't tell me extrovert. Are you maybe a green person, a red person, a blue person, or a yellow person? When I talk of that, I simply mean, are you a choleric, a melancholic, a phlegmatic, or a sanguine? That's a simple question about your self awareness. If you cannot answer such a simple question, then it is tough. You need to go deep and get to learn about self awareness and discover yourself. Not only discover, but also rediscover yourself. The second thing that determines your life purpose or that dictates about your life purpose is your spirit. When you talk of spirit, we normally say in psychology, we say that human being is made up of two. We have the physical human being and we have the spiritual human being. Spiritual and also the mental part of you. That is the part that I'm talking about. When I talk of spirit, how is your spiritual relationship with your God, with your Maker? How is your relationship with that person who created you, that person who determined that you have to be born? What do we mean by spiritual? It's difficult to explain that. But in a nutshell, I would say when you talk of spirituality of a person is recognition of the greater maker or that supernatural power that created heavens, that created the earth, and that created you. Your relationship with that supernatural power is what I would call spiritual. And that spirit or that spiritual part of you is the one that dictates your mentality. When I talk of mentality, I mean your way of thinking, how you get to think about things, how you get to figure out about situations. That's what we mean by mentality. So these two things, your self awareness and your spirit, have a very big role to play when it comes to your life purpose. So before you go out there trying to think about how do I how do I discover my life purpose? Is this what my life purpose is all about? Is this Before you get to that, ask yourself these two questions. How much of myself do I know? How much do I know myself? And number two, what is my relationship with my creator? Because those two things are going to help you in a greater way to identify your life purpose. And then maybe after you answer those two questions, it's good I also let you know this, that when you talk of a life purpose normally aligns with these three things. Are they three or four? I think they are four. Number one, your life purpose will align with your feelings, with your emotions. How you feel about life, how you feel about something, your emotions toward that you call your life purpose, they have a lot of connection. There's a very good agreement in totality. So your life purpose has to agree with your feelings. Your life purpose, that means if it is agreeing with your feelings, then it is also conquering or agreeing with your thoughts. Number two, your life purpose agrees or it connects with your passions and your interest. That which you feel so much attached to, enthusiastic about. and that which you feel that you really want to learn about, you really want to know about it, that passion, that interest. Maybe to explain this much better, I would ask you this question. If you are given, or if somebody from nowhere, we are just assuming, turned up one day, maybe tomorrow, and tells you, you know what, from now henceforth, don't bother with looking for money. I'll be settling your bills until you die. I'll be paying your house rent. I'll be paying your meals. I'll be paying your bills, and I'll be catering for anything that you need in this life. And you'll be living in that place that, that prestigious place that you have always wanted to live into. This person tells you that that's where you are going to live from now henceforth. If you need money, just call me. I'm going to give you something. I'm going to settle your needs. If that was said to you, my good friend, then how how would you want to spend the rest of your life? The reason as to why I'm asking this is because when you talk of passion, when you talk of interest, it is something that comes naturally, and you not be forced to become, or you not be forced to do that thing. It's something that comes naturally. It's something that you find fulfillment when doing it, whether you are paid or not paid. So, if that's it, you know, if that's was to happen, someone taking care of your bills, then how would you spend the rest of your life? I'm sure that has to do something thing with your passion, with your interest, because your life purpose has to agree with your life mission. I mean, your passion and also your interest. Your life purpose has to agree with your passion and with your interest. Number three, your life purpose, sorry, has to agree with your creativity, with your thoughts. I know I have mentioned about this, but allow me to repeat it for the purposes of clarity. How you conceive in terms of your brains, how you are able to put things on the table, how you are able to bring ideas on the table is what we mean when we talk about your creativity. Your life purpose has to agree with your creativity, because whatever that you be thinking about, whatever that you'll be bringing onto the table, a new idea that you'll be bringing onto the table, it's something that has to agree with your thoughts and your life purpose. Because remember, we say this, that life purpose is all about working towards accomplishing that mission. You understand that? So your thoughts has to agree with your life purpose. And lastly, your life purpose has to agree with your personality. Your life purpose has to agree with your character. That's it. So, my good friend, still thinking about life purpose, you have to know this, that for you to discover your life purpose, number one, you have to accept it's a process that will take time depending on your own self. Number two, that for you to discover your life purpose, it has to do a lot with your self awareness and your spirit. You have to learn, understand yourself, and on top of that, discover or think about your spiritual relation with your creator. And top of that, number three, if you want to discover your life purpose, remember this. It has to agree with your thoughts. It has to agree with your feelings. It has to agree with your creativity. It has to agree with your passion and your interest. And lastly, as I edit, it's good that you always remember this. If you don't know your life purpose by now, it is not a crime. It is very in order. But you have to keep thinking about it. You have to keep thinking about your life purpose. What is it? Asking yourself, why was I created? For what reasons am I living? For you to be able to provoke your mind to understand yourself much better to look into those things that align with your passion, look into those things that align with your interest, with your thoughts and your creativity. And through that way, you will discover your life purpose. Maybe I should add it by saying this: there's no specific formula to help you discover your life purpose. I hope by not answering the question directly as expected, by answering the question indirectly, has given you a good way to think about your life purpose and how to discover your life purpose. And that's it for this episode. I do hope that you have learned so much about your life purpose. So that's it for this episode. My good friend, if you feel that this episode have touched you, if you have learned a lot or you have learned something, please share this with your friends and also give me a comment through my social media platform at Rostobi. That's on Facebook and also on Instagram and also on my YouTube channel, Rostobi. Let's meet in our next episode. I'm so much humbled to be having you listen to me up to this very end. Until our next meeting, have yourself a good time. I love you all.